At this time, we ask that you direct your attention to center court for the Pascack Hills High School basketball program. And the entire Pascack Hills community would like to acknowledge and thank all our senior basketball players for their hard work, dedication, and commitment given to the program over the past 4 seasons. All right, our seniors are as follows: Alex Banting and his parents. And Sandy Cooper and his parents. And we have Justin O'Nikian and his parents. Please welcome Tyler Sanders and his parents. And also John Stewart and his parents. And about the Broncos round of applause for the Mahwah senior Mahwah. Thank you again to all our seniors who have accepted committed to our program and for being the proper role models for our younger players. Good evening, and welcome everyone to the Michael Day O'Brien Court, the Chef Drake Hills Housing Gymnasium on the campus of Pascack Hills High School. Tonight, the Broncos of Pascack Hills take on the Thunderbirds of Mahwah High School. In order for this game to be fairly contested, it is expected that she will demonstrate good sportsmanship, that she will accept the decisions of the officials, and that she will do nothing to jeopardize the safety of the players, coaches, officials, or other spectators. There will be a zero tolerance policy to any fan that calls out another player, coach, or referee. The high school student athletes competing today deserve the respect of everyone in attendance. There is absolutely no eating or drinking in the gym. Inability to comply with these simple requests will both be lose the privilege of watching this game. Thank you for your anticipated cooperation and for making this an enjoyable and competitive experience for all. And now the starting lineups for the Thunderbirds, the Mahwah at guard, number 3, Kenny and Pascack. At forward, number 10, Mahwah. At forward, number 20, Melvin Rivera. At forward, number 12, Ben Pascack. And at guard, number 13, Brian Matthews. The Thunderbirds led by head coach Mr. Michael Brown. And now for the Broncos of Pascack Hills High School. At guard, number 3, Governor. At guard, number 4, Alex Banton. At forward, number 23, Tyler Sanders. At guard, number 1, Sam Cooper. And at center, number 35, John Stewart. The Broncos led by head coach Paul Rico and assistants Mr. Michael Wright, Mr. Matt Marie, and Mr. Josh Wilson. The officials of the team are Mr. Gary Smith, Mr. Jim Conti, and Mr. Michael Ward. Please rise and remove your hats as we listen to the Pascack Hills Chamber Choir sing our national anthem. Thank you and enjoy the game.
And so on this senior night, we welcome you inside to the Michael J. O'Brien Court at Pascack Hills High School. We are ready for our main event of the evening, our third of 3 games between the Varsity Pascack Hills Broncos and the Varsity Mahwah Thunderbirds. So far, the Broncos are 1-1, with the freshmen losing just by 4, and the JV team absolutely crushing all the hopes of the Mahwah team. It was about a 25-point margin of victory for our junior varsity players. Let's see if these Broncos can replicate that success. They've got 4 8-minute quarters in the middle. It is Tyler Sanders for the Broncos, and for Mahwah, it is Melvin Rivera. So the all-senior starting 5 for the Broncos getting ready to go. And we're underway. Sanders gives it back to point guard Sam Cooper, and he'll give it into Justin Onicki and back into Sanders. Now it is Cooper Now Alex Banting for the first time all year starting, I believe. Now Sanders in the middle is going to put one up, and a nice way to start things out. Sanders gets the first points of the night, and they go to Pascack Hills. They're up 2-0. Up comes Ryan Matthews with it now for the Thunderbirds. He'll give it over to Omar Ahmed. Now Matthews with it once again. Now Ahmed with it. Once again it's Matthews up top of the key. He'll give it back over to Ahmed now. Gives it out on a nice pass to Tomaskovich, but can't get anything to fall as Onikian gets it and gives it back to Cooper. Just about a minute burned here in this one. Alex Banting gets it, gives it back to Cooper. Banting back to Cooper again. And now Onikian all the way over to Banting. He'll give it back to Cooper once again. And now over to John Stewart. Put one up and tried to get it, but it didn't go. Danny McClarahan with it now for the Thunderbirds as Matthews gives it over to Ahmed. Oh, he's going to be called out of bounds as he tried to keep it in and give it over to McClarahan. Didn't work out as now Onikian ready to give it into Sam Cooper here. So Onikian into Cooper. Just about a minute and 20 seconds burned as Onikian now to Cooper. He'll give it over to Banting. Now back to Cooper. Gives it into Sanders. Cooper for three from the top of the key. It's no good. But it's going to be Onikian who comes down with it. He gives it cross court to Banting. Wide open three in the corner. No good. But Stewart with a nice rebound there. And he'll give it into Sanders. But he's going to have that shot blocked and Stewart can't get it down. So here's Ahmed bringing things up for the Thunderbirds. He'll give it over to Tomaskovich. And he'll give it back to Ahmed now. Back to Matthews, and now it's McClarahan. Back to Matthews up top of the key, covered by Banting. He gives it over to Ahmed, right back to Matthews. Now back over to McClarahan. Matthews with it again. Now McClarahan in the wing. Now he's going to give it to Tomaskovich. Now it's McClarahan once again on the wing. He's staying there after giving it to Ahmed, cycling out. Who's at the top? Now Ahmed finds an open spot. He can't get the three to fall, however, and Sanders gets the rebound. So here is Cooper with 5 minutes 30 on the clock as Banting gives it over to Stewart. Now Cooper has Sanders let go there. Onikian not wide open, but in the corner nonetheless. Three ball no good, but it stays with the Broncos as now Banting and Cooper. Back to Banting and now in to Sanders. Gives it to Stewart, out to Onikian. And now Cooper puts one up. Can't get it to fall. But he does get it back. Never mind, he tried to give it out to Onikian. Timeout here from Mahwah. Looks like it'll be a 30-second timeout. 30-second timeout. We'll be back in just a few moments. And we're ready to get back to it now. 5 minutes and 1 second to go here in the first quarter. The Broncos up by just 2. 2-0 is the score line. Here comes Mahwah back on. They'll have the ball on the inbound. It's Danny McClarahan, covered by Sam Cooper. And he'll give it into Ryan Matthews here. He's shadow covered by Banting, it seems. But as he crosses half court, Banting will start to press even more as it ends up in McClarahan's hands once again. Some contact there as Ahmed gets it. And now it's going to be Matthews over to McClarahan now off the pass from Tomaskovich. As McClarahan gives it over to Ahmed. And now over to Matthews once again. Now McClarahan with it. Back over to Matthews up top of the key, covered by Banting. He's going to get a screen, however. And now Ahmed over to Matthews. Matthews back all the way. They'll reset with McClarahan. Now he's going to drive in after the screen and tries to give it to the big man Melvin Guevara, but he can't haul it in. It goes out of bounds Also tipped off of Stewart's hands, and so it'll be a Mahwah inbound here. McClarahan with it, looking inbound. He's going to give it to Tomaskovich, who having trouble putting one up. Now gives it over to Matthews. He's going to put one up. Oh, a big block from Tyler Sanders there. Goes out of bounds, however, and it looks like, no, it'll be a foul. How unfortunate. 2 shots here for Ryan Matthews. Oh, and the foul's going to be on Justin Onikian, it seems. His first and the first team foul. So is it an inbounds? Yes, it is. Looked like they were lining up for shots, but no, it is an inbounds here. And McClarahan has it. Exactly halfway through the first quarter of this one. Oh, he loses it, but Cooper's going to be called for a kick. And here's McClarahan on what is pretty much the redo. Going to give it all the way out to Ryan Matthews, and they'll reset. Matthews trying to drive in, now gives it back to Tomaskovich. Now out to McClarahan. He's going to try and drive in. Now at the foul line, he gives it out to Matthews. Matthews tried to drive in, but goes back out and gives it to McClarahan. He's going to pull up. Contested 3 is good, and that'll take a 1-point lead for Mahwah. So Banting to Cooper now. 3 minutes, 30 to go in the first. Calm first quarter so far is now Justin Onikian gets it. Cooper into Stewart. Look to give it out to Banting, and he just barely gets there before it goes out. Now here is Onikian, but a jump ball. Nice work there from Ryan Matthews to get the jump. And now Stever Lewis will come in for Danny McClarahan. First substitution of the night for either team. So it is Matthews who gets it in off of the inbound from McClarahan. And I apologize, McClarahan is still on. Lewis came on for, I believe it was not Matthews, but Omar Ahmed there. So here is Tomaskovich, puts a layup up and takes a 3-point lead over the Broncos. Banting will give it back to Cooper with 2 minutes 45 on the clock. Onikian gives it back to Cooper up top. And now Sanders over to Onikian. Over to Cooper. Banting into Stewart. Can't put one up though. As now Matthews will spin around and regroup. It's covered by Banting here. Gets past half court. Now drives in. Puts one up. No good. And Cooper's there for the rebound. He's going to give it over to Onikian. Gives it over to Banting now. Over to Cooper up top of the key. He's going to give it over to Stewart in the corner. Gives it back to Banting. And now Onikian turns and shoots. No good. Rebound goes to McClarahan. And another timeout, it looks like, for Mahwah here. And it's going to be a full timeout, so we'll be back in a minute. And we're back to things here. 1:55 and counting. Nick Luckman is on for the Broncos instead of Alex Banting, as now Matthews gives it over to McClarahan, and now back to Matthews. McClarahan with it once again in triple coverage, gives it out to Matthews. Now back to McClarahan up top. 1:30 to go. Here is Thomas Skovich. And he'll give it to Lewis here. And he'll fake the shot, gives it out to McClarahan, who misses a three. It was a long one, and Sanders gets the rebound. So here's Cooper bringing things up. He gives it to David Weidmuller, who's also in for Stewart. And now Onikian with a big three there to tie things back up. 5-5, we're all even. As here's McClarahan, just about a minute to go in the first, shadow covered kind of by Onikian. Now over to Matthews, back over, but it's Weidmuller who gets it on the interception. He's going to put one up, no good, and it looks like it'll be a foul on Weidmuller here. Yes, it is. 2 team fouls for the Broncos, one on Justin Onikian, one on David Weidmuller. Inbound here, it is McClarahan to Matthews, now back to McClarahan with a little bit from Thomas Skovich. Back to Matthews now. And now back to McClarahan. Careful to keep on the attacking side of the court as now. Whoa, big shot there from Melvin Guevara. And Sanders almost had his hand up the hoop trying to keep it out. Now Cooper over to Onikian, back to Cooper here. Weidmuller back to Cooper. Now into Luckman. Back out to Weidmuller again. Now Cooper. Now Sanders, who pulls up for a long two. It's no good. And now Matthews gets it. 8 seconds to go. 5 seconds to go. There we go. Now it's McClarahan to end it and gets it. So Danny McClarahan with a buzzer-beating 3 to end the first quarter. That puts Mahwah up 10-5. We'll be back in about a minute. No good on the first shot. Foul was on Danny McClarahan there. And he'll make the second one to make it a 3-point game. Or sorry, he'll make it a 1-point game. I forgot Onikian was shooting. I thought it was Mahwah, excuse me. And so McClarahan and Matthews will trade the ball. Now Ahmed, and now big shot there from Guevara, but it doesn't work out. Here's Luckman for the Broncos. Gives it to Cooper, back to Luckman now. They'll give it back to Cooper, quickly over to Sanders, and now in the corner to Onikian. Back to Sanders now. He'll pull up, long too, it's no good, and rebounded by Lewis for Mahwah. As now McClarahan for three, it's no good. Now Lewis, layup is good, and that'll make it a 3-point game here. Here's Cooper, up to Luckman for three to tie, no good. Ahmed. Now it is McClarahan who has it. He's going to have it intercepted by Oniki and tried to get it out to Ahmed, but it was intercepted. Cooper can't make the layup, and it's brought down by Mahwah. Here's Lewis. Oh, Cooper got a hand on it, but it'll go out of bounds. Just about 2 minutes burned in this one. Second quarter now, McClarahan with it. Onikian still kind of sideways. Now Ahmed, now Lewis for three, gets it from the wing. And that will make it now a 6-point game. As Luckman into Cooper, back over to Luckman. He's going to pull up contested three, it's no good. And now it's Lewis who gives it over to Matthews. And now Matthews over to McClarahan. Matthews with it again. He's going to give it over to McClarahan. Back over to Matthews. Once again, they're doing the cross-court passes. Once again, back to McClarahan and back to Matthews. Now Ahmed. And now they give it in. Back over to McClarahan. Now back to Matthews. Back over to McClarahan and back to Matthews. It's back and forth between these two. And now finally into Lewis in the corner. He's trapped. Onikian, it went out on him. So Mahwah will have the inbound here. It is McClarahan who has it. They'll give it back to Ryan Matthews here, and they will reset. 5 minutes and 10 seconds and counting to go. Back over to McClarahan, now into Ahmed, back to McClarahan. Back over to Matthews now, and back to McClarahan, almost intercepted by Sanders now. Oh, and it almost is intercepted by Cooper, but he can't keep it in bounds. So here is McClarahan who has it now. He's going to drive up with Onikian on him. Under 5 minutes to go in the first half of this one. Amen. Now Lewis, now McClarahan who has it. Over to Matthews. Matthews back over to McClarahan. Back to Matthews. Matthews looking for somebody. He's going to give it to Ahmed. And now Matthews. Now we'll give it to Ahmed, who'll give it over to McClarahan. And three from Lewis, no good. Rebounded by Sanders. And it is Cooper who will bring it up just about halfway through the second quarter of this one. As Luckman, now Cooper, now Sanders from the corner for three and gets it. That will make it now just a 3-point game. As now Matthews gives it over to McClarahan. He's going to give it to Lewis, and now McClarahan, and now Lewis into Ahmed from the elbow, gets it. Makes it a 5-point game now as Cooper, with about 3 minutes 30 to go, brings it up. He'll give it to Onikian, now back to Cooper. He's going to pull up from the top of the key. Three ball is no good. And now Matthews will bring it up for Mahwah. And McClarahan gives it into Guevara. He cannot get it in, but a foul called. And it looks like it might be on Luckman. No, it's going to be on Sam Cooper, his first and the third team foul of the half. Timeout. It's a 30-second one, so we'll be back in a moment. And we're back now with just 3 minutes, 12 seconds to go in the first half. It is the Mahwah Thunderbirds leading the Pascack Hills Broncos by 5 as Danny McClarahan ready to bring things up on the inbound. Gives it into Ahmed here. No, that's Matthews, I apologize. And they'll give it over to Ahmed. Now into, that was Guevara on it. He couldn't make it, and now Sanders brings things up. He's going to give it over to Ben Stahl, who's just subbed in for Sam Cooper. Actually, Cole Piscotti is in for Cooper. And now Stahl gives it over to Sanders. Sanders over to Stahl. Now Piscotti, now Cooper and Sanders for 3, no good. And Lewis brings it down. McClarahan with it now, 2 minutes, 30 to go in the half. McClarahan over to Lewis. Lewis back over to Matthews here. Now back over to Ahmed. He gives it back to McClarahan here. That's about 2 minutes to go in the half. Here's Lewis. Back over to Matthews now. Matthews drives in. Ooh, he's going to be fouled. Trying to go up, it looks like it'll be on Ben Stahl. And it is Stahl's first foul and the 4th team foul. 2 from the line for Ryan Matthews. He's going to make the first one to make it a 6-point game. One more coming. And he will make both, so it is now a 7-point lead for Mahwah over the Broncos here. Piscotti gives it over to Stahl. Stahl gives it over to Piscotti, and now back to Stahl. He's going to go for a long 3, no good. Sanders can't get the rebound, and here's McClarahan. McClarahan, minute 30 to go. He's going to drive in, puts one up, no good. And now Weidmuller with the rebound. He's back in the game. Here is Sanders. Sanders driving in, puts one up, and 1 for Tyler Sanders. Foul's going to be on Melvin Guevara, his first and the 2nd team foul for Mahwah. And Sanders will make the free throw. It's a 4-point game now. And now McClarahan. He's going to give it to Guevara, and now Ahmed, and now McClarahan who has it. McClarahan covered by Sanders, looking for a way around. Gives it over to Ahmed now. And now gives it over to Matthews, but it's going to go the Broncos' way. So Stahl will inbound to Cole Piscotti. Oh, foul on Danny McClarahan, his 2nd. And the 3rd team foul for the Thunderbirds here. 4-point game, 50 seconds to go as Stahl gives it back over to Piscotti now, who gives it back to Stahl, back over to Piscotti, now into Weidmuller. He gives it out to Stahl for 3, no good. Rebound goes to Mahwah, 30 seconds to go. As McClarahan brings things up, 30 seconds remain in the half. Oh, he's going to lose it, gets it back. Now gives it into Lewis. Travel is called, 24.6 on the clock. And now Stahl will give it into Cole Piscotti here. 23 and counting to go. Before halftime, Piscotti over to Sanders. Foul. Foul's going to be on Guevara. 4th team foul and his 2nd personal foul. So now Piscotti on the baseline. He'll give it out to Luckman, and now Sanders for three. He's going to get it. That'll make it a 1-point game with 10 seconds before half. Can they take the lead? 7-6-5. And now Matthews. No good. Luxman can't get a shot off to end the half. It is a 1-point game. The Thunderbirds lead 19-18. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. You've been watching PH Athletics, your home for Pascack Hills Sports. And we're ready to get going. Just 16 more minutes of regulation basketball to be played. The Broncos just down by 1 here. Score 19-18. The 5 on for the Broncos to start this half. David Weidmuller, Cole Piscotti, Tyler Sanders, Ben Stahl, and Nick Luckman. As Mahwah gets ready to take the court, everybody else gets ready for another exciting half of basketball. Low scoring, but close was the thing with the first half. Let's see if it continues with our second half. I'm Matthew Merlino. Thank you for joining us this evening on PH Athletics, your home for Pascack Hills Sports. Omar Ahmed gives it into Ryan Matthews, and he'll give it over to Denny McClarahan. We're underway. He gives it back to Ben Tomaskovich, and now out to Ahmed. Long 3, but it's good from the wing. So that makes it now a 4-point game as Piscotti takes things up off the inbound from Stahl. Stahl will get it back, now over to Tyler Sanders in the wing. Stahl gives it over to Sanders once again, and now back to Stahl up top. He's going to dribble, now gives it over to Piscotti. Piscotti for 3 from the wing, no good, but tipped up. Foul, it'll go Mahwah's way. Foul's going to be on Tyler Sanders here, his first team foul for the Broncos this half. So it'll be McClarahan who gives it into Matthews here, and Mahwah will reset. Sanders on the coverage. He's going to be blocked here by Ben Tomaskovich, and Tomaskovich will be called for a foul, his first of the game and the first of the half for Mahwah. So Piscotti will get it off the inbound from Stahl here. And he'll give it back over to Stahl, now into Luckman. He's going to give it all the way over the corner to Sanders. No good. He gets his own rebound, however. And now Piscotti going to pull up from the foul line. It's blocked by Ahmed now. And here's Matthews who puts one up, and it's going to be fouled. No, it's going to be a whistle. Maybe he stepped out or something. But Stahl is going to be inbounding to Piscotti here, and Piscotti takes things up. Now Stahl with it, over to Piscotti. Now Sanders, now Piscotti, and now Stahl from the wing for 3, in and out, no good. But Weidmuller fights and gets the rebound. He gives it over to Sanders. Puts one up, no good on the long 2. Luckman can't bring it down. And it'll be Guevara, and now Matthews for Mahwah. Now Matthews over to Ahmed, now it's McClarahan. So McClarahan looking to go. Drives in, now gives it out. Ahmed for 3 from the top of the key, no good. But they get the rebound, puts one back up, it's no good. That was Tomaskovich on the rebound. And now Luckman gives it over to Piscotti, back to Luckman for 3, top of the key, and good. So that'll bring it back to a 1-point game. Broncos down. Matthews here, bringing it up for the Thunderbirds now for Mahwah. Defense chant breaking out as it should. Matthews gives it over to Ahmed now. And Ahmed driving in. Nice pass out to Matthews. No good there. Out of bounds. Who's it going to go to? It goes to the Broncos. How about that? And now Stahl, right on the sideline, right by the defensive hoop. As now Piscotti into Sanders. He's going to give it back out to Piscotti. Stahl fakes the 3, goes for it from the wing. No good. And it'll go Mahwah's way. Foul. And it'll be on Luckman, his first. 2 team fouls for the Broncos, 1 team foul for Mahwah so far in this one, as Omar Ahmed comes off for Tyson Van Piet. And now Matthews, now Van Piet. Can't get it to fall, as now Luckman gives it over to Weidmuller. Now Sanders, he's going to give it to Piscotti. Now Weidmuller up top of the key. Oh, nice pass after Piscotti. 3 from the wing, in and out, no good. And it goes back to Guevara. 4 minutes 40 to go in the third quarter, then 8 more minutes in the fourth. Hill's down by 1 here as McClarahan spins around, now gives it to Van Piet for 3 from the wing, it's no good. And now Sanders, this is Weidmuller bringing things up. He's going to give it out to Stahl. Stahl gives it over to Piscotti. Now back over to Stahl, into Sanders, out to Luckman. He's going to put one up. No, it's blocked. And Guevara. Timeout for Mahwah here. And it's a full timeout, I believe. Full timeout. So we'll be back in about a minute. And we're ready to get back to it now. 4 minutes 09 remain in the third quarter here. It's an inbound for Mahwah. Tyson Van Piet with the inbound here coming. He'll give it over to McClarahan, but Piscotti got a hand on it. Nevertheless, it goes Mahwah's way. So it'll be Ben Tomaskovich on the inbound. And he'll give it to Matthews here. Matthews crossing over, looking to get past Piscotti. And now Van Piet. Now McClarahan with it. He's going to give it into Matthews. And now Matthews over to Guevara, who's going to get a 2. And now Piscotti. Bringing it up under 4 minutes to go. Weidmuller, now Stahl, now Piscotti for 3. No good, and it goes right to Matthews and Mahwah. 3 minutes 30 to go in the third quarter. As Van Piet, now Tomaskovich. And now Van Piet once again. Here is Lewis. Or no, that is McClarahan with it. Now it is Matthews who has it up top of the key. 3 minutes. Now it's McClarahan. Still a 2-point game. Sorry, a 3-point game. Travel called here on Tyson Van Piet. So Stahl on the inbound to Piscotti. They're going to run the Syracuse play here, as you can probably hear. Piscotti over to Stahl. Now Luckman for 3 from the wing, and he gets it. All tied up at 24. Here is Matthews, who brings it up. Sanders on the coverage. Ooh, foul here, and it's going to be on Ben Stahl. His second of the day. First player on Pascack Hills with multiple fouls, and he will come off in favor of Justin Onikian. That's 3 team fouls for the Broncos as opposed to 1 for the Mahwah Thunderbirds. Now Matthews with it. Off the inbound from Tomaskovich. Still got it now out to McClarahan. And McClarahan driving in now gives it out to Van Piet. Ooh, Luckman in there. Now he's on the floor. 3, no good, and Sanders gets it back. Sanders gives it over to Luckman. Now Weidmuller for 3 from the top of the key, and good. The Broncos take the first lead of the night. the first lead since early on in the first quarter with 2 minutes to go. It's a 3-point lead now for the Broncos here. No good, but a foul call here. And it's going to be on David Weidmuller, his second. 2 shots from the line for Ben Tomaskovich. Gets the first. One more would make it a 1-point game as Ahmed comes in for Van Piet. And one more for Tomaskovich. No good, and Weidmuller brings it down. It's still a 2-point lead for Pascack Hills. Here's Sanders. He gives it over to Onikian, and now Piscotti. Back to Onikian. He's going to give it to Luckman. Now back to Onikian, back to Piscotti. He gives it to Weidmuller in the corner. Now over to Onikian. He's going to pull up. No good on the 3. But Luckman gets it back. Nice job. As now Weidmuller for 3 from the wing, and it's good. 5-point lead for Hills now, their biggest of the game. As now McClarahan with it. Minute 13 to go in the third. McClarahan blocked by Luckman there, and now Weidmuller brings it up. Layup, no good there. So close, but now Tomaskovich. He's going to give it over to McClarahan. Under a minute to go. And now McClarahan still looking for a way around Piscotti. Gives it over to Ahmed. Ahmed now. Tomaskovich, no good, and Piscotti gets the rebound. He'll bring things up. Just about 40 seconds to go as Weidmuller over to Luckman for 3. A long one and good from the top of the key. It's an 8-point lead for Pascack Hills. Under 30 seconds to go in the third. Matthews with it. On the floor, out of bounds. Who's it going to go to? It goes to Mahwah. And now McClarahan. McClarahan up, gives it to Matthews. Now over to Ahmed. He's going to drive in, puts one up. No good. And now Piscotti gets the rebound. Ooh, he's going to be tripped there. Foul's going to be on Omar Ahmed, his first. And it'll be an inbound here. Piscotti is all right, just tying his shoe, and he's getting up. So now Onikian will inbound to Piscotti. 6 seconds to go in the third. Piscotti, 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, into Onikian. He's going to be fouled here. No good on the layup, but 0.9 seconds to go. Foul's going to be on Ryan Matthews, his first. 2 shots for Justin Onikian with 9/10 of a second on the clock. That's probably how this quarter will end. Onikian makes the first to make it a 9-point game. And he'll make the second. Broncos have a 10-point lead. 9/10 to end it. No, tipped it out over the Mahwah bench. So for the first time at the end of a period of play, it's the Broncos up big by 10 over the Mahwah Thunderbirds score, 35-25. We'll be back in about a minute for the final 8 minutes of this one. So to set you up once again, 8 minutes to go. Broncos lead 35-25, and it looks like they'll get the ball to start things off. Yes, they will. Tyler Sanders on the inbound. Looks like he'll go into Cole Piscotti, and they'll try and take more of a lead here. As now Onikian gives it into Sanders. Now back to Onikian, and he'll give it to Piscotti. Now Onikian with it once again. He's going to give it to Weidmuller. Ooh, can't put one up, and Luckman can't get it in. So here's McClarahan bringing things up for the Thunderbirds. Again, a defense chant breaking out as it should. Oh, there's Luckman on the ground to get it. Try to give it back to Piscotti, but it goes the other way. And Matthews gives it over to Lewis. And now McClarahan with it. He's going to try and drive in. No, he gives it out to Lewis. 3 from the wing, no good. Goes to Sanders. And now Piscotti. He's going to give it to McClarahan here. Or no, sorry, that's Onikian. And now Sanders with Onikian. Over to Piscotti. Back to Onikian now. He's going to give it over to Luckman for 3 in the corner, no good. But Weidmuller tips it out to Sanders. And 1! Tyler Sanders again! That makes it a 12-point game with a chance to make it a 13-point game. Foul's going to be on Melvin Guevara, his 3rd of the game. And he will make it. So it's a 13-point game. Just to clarify, 5 personal fouls and you're out of the game. And 7 team fouls triggers a bonus. 10 team fouls triggers the double bonus here. That's the rules. Nice shot there from McClarahan. He can't get it to fall. Matthews can't get a 3-pointer to fall. And now a foul. It goes the Broncos' way. Gonna be on Guevara, his 4th. So Nikian on the inbound to Piscotti here. Just about a minute and a half burned in this 4th quarter. As now Weidmuller gives it over to Piscotti. Now Onikian. Back over to Weidmuller. Corner 3. It's good! And that will make it a 16-point lead. So McClarahan with Onikian covering. Hard pressing. And now this might be a foul on Piscotti. And it will be the first foul on Piscotti and the 15th foul for the Broncos. Both teams with 5 fouls right now. As now Tomaskovic into Matthews here, covered by Onikian. Now Piscotti comes up to cover. Tomaskovic over to Matthews, now Lewis. And now Matthews with it, very close to the midcourt line. Over to McClarahan, now back to Tomaskovic. Ooh, might be called for a travel here. No, it's a foul call. And it is going to be on Sanders, his 2nd, as Tyson Van Piet comes in for Ben Tomaskovic. And they're leaving Melvin Guevara, who's on 4 fouls, out. Out on the court, I should clarify. But McClarahan with Matthews, covered by Piscotti, gives it over to Van Piet. And now, no backcourt, as Matthews going to give it to McClarahan. Now Matthews in the corners. Lewis, it's no good. Goes back on the floor. McClarahan can't get one to fall. Here's Luckman bringing things up with 5 minutes to go. Gives it over to Sanders for 3, and good. Timeout by Mahwah here as the Broncos lead by 19. 44-25 is the score, and we'll be back in about 30 seconds. Well, during our timeout there, chant "We Want Banting" broke out between the student section of Pascack Hills. Paul DeRico not heeding, I guess, advice there from the student section. He keeps Onikian, Weidmuller, Luckman, Sanders, and Piscotti out there for the Broncos. That's the 5 that put these Broncos up by 19 and what he hopes will keep these Broncos up by 19. But it is McClarahan with it all the way cross court. Sky high pass to Matthews, now over a little lower to McClarahan, and now Matthews with it again. He's going to put one up. No good. Tip back in is no good, but the rebound shot from Melvin Guevara is. So it's a 17-point game now as Piscotti takes things up for the Broncos. He'll give it over to Onikian. Now Luckman, now Weidmuller, and now Piscotti. He gives it back to Weidmuller. And Weidmuller puts a layup up. It's no good. Tip back in is good from Luckman there. And that will make it back to a 9-point game. 19-point game. As Matthews gives it over to McClarahan. Now Matthews cross court, moving up, shuffling. As now McClarahan back over to Matthews. He's going to look to drive in now in the corner. Double coverage. Tipped out. It goes out of bounds and it will go to the Broncos. Under 4 minutes to go in this one. We're more than halfway through the fourth quarter. And now it's Piscotti, who brings it up for the Broncos. He's going to give it to Onikian. Right in front of us, gives it over to Piscotti. And now Luckman gives it over to Piscotti. He'll give it over to Weidmuller. And now Luckman here, he's going to give it to Sanders for long 2, it's no good. Weidmuller tried to bring it down, but it was wrestled away by McClarahan. And now he'll bring things up. Over to Matthews, back to McClarahan now, and back to Matthews. Big 3 in the corner, no good. And it is Onikian who gives it to Piscotti now with 3 minutes to go, over to Sanders. And now Weidmuller, who goes for the long 3. It's no good. As here comes McClarahan. Danny McClarahan looking for a way around the double coverage of Piscotti, and Onikian gets it out to Ahmed, but Luxman gets it off the pass from the middle, and now McClarahan gets it back. In, and Weidmuller gets it. Tried to go into Lewis, and now fast break. Layup good from Justin Onikian. As now a 21-point lead for the Broncos. As McClarahan brings it up, 2 minutes 20 to go. Well, the student section's getting what they wished for, I guess. Alex Banting right in front of me, ready to sub in. And here he goes. So here comes Banting in for Cole Piscotti. And fouled, so 2 shots from the line. The foul was on Sanders, his 3rd. And the 17th foul for the Broncos, so that triggers the bonus. It's a 1-and-1 from the line for any foul. Ahmed makes the first. Makes it a 20-point game, chance to make it a 19-point game. And he does not, so it is a 20-point lead. Banting! Layup, good! How about that? That's got him happy. And now McClarahan with it now, under 2 minutes to go. It's Matthews with it now after the pass from Lewis. Ooh, tipped by Banting. Weidmuller gets it. No, Sanders with it. Luckman. Three out of the 5 seniors on the court for the Broncos here on senior night. And here come the 2 others. Weidmuller gets it and one. David Weidmuller to the line. And this would make it a 25-point game. Subbing in Sam Cooper and, well, not John Stewart. Sam Cooper is going to come in for Nick Luckman. And now Weidmuller at the line for one. Stewart will sub in for him after the shot. He misses it, and he won't sub in. So here's McClarahan. Now it is, well, it was McClarahan who was the one fouled here, and he'll go to the line for 1-1. In comes John Stewart for David Weidmuller, and the entire senior team, I guess, is back on. That means the entire starting five is back on here on senior night. And so 1-1 from the line for McClarahan. Foul was on Cooper, his second. Oh, no, sorry. Foul was on, no, it was Cooper, his second tonight. 18 fouls for the Broncos. He made the first, so now it's a 24-point game, chance to make it 22. And he does. So 52-30 is the score, minute 20 to go. And here is Cooper taking things up, crossing over, gives it over to Banting. Banting to Stewart, corner three, no good. Over a minute, just a little bit over a minute here to go. Oh, Onikian almost got a hand on it. Air ball nonetheless, and Sanders brings it down. He'll give it over to Banting. Wide open, corner three. Oh, no good. 50 seconds to go. Three ball for McClarahan, it's no good. Onikian brings it down with 40 to go. Here's Cooper, gives it up to Banting. Can't make the layup now, 30 seconds to go. As McClarahan on the ground gives it to Ahmed, tipped out by Justin Onikian. Now here's McClarahan looking to inbound, gives it out to Ahmed. Matthews, now Lewis. Now Matthews, long three, no good. Kept back in, back out, 8.6 on the clock. Goes to Mahwah, I believe. Yes, and it will be Ryan Matthews. Gives it into Lewis. Tipped. Banting to end things off. Puts it up. No good, but the Broncos win anyway. 52-30, a final score. How about that? And they'll take the win over the Mahwah Thunderbirds. For now, though, this is Matthew Merlino. Thank you for watching here on the PH Athletics YouTube channel. Your home for Pascack Hills Sports. Coming up tomorrow night, we've got wrestling, the big cross-district rivalry with Pascack Valley. Our next basketball games will be the girls next Tuesday against Riverdale right here. For now, though, once again, Matthew Merlino, thank you all for watching on the PH Athletics.